massive for Newcastle. Really good performances. Joe Willock got his start in the end that he's been trying to get for the last few games. He's been brilliant off the bench, hasn't he? But
he's been excellent.
Scored the opening goal. And then really, you could say Newcastle didn't look back, but at the end, allowed Leicester to get back into it. But, I mean, before we go on, let's just focus for a second on Jonny Evans, not taking anything away from Newcastle's performance at all, but the difference when he's in the side and when he's not is the organisation just didn't look like it was there for Leicester at the back.
No, they looked like they was all over the place. In midfield as well, they looked really open. I think, you know, when you have a player with sort of Jonny Evans' experience, he just gets things organised. They just look better. I think Sancho's a better player when he's around as well. I think the whole side just seems... It's like, you know, you're taking a big player out your side, and when he's not there, they struggle. They really do. I think he's been brilliant for them this season. He's got the experience. He's got the leadership, and I just worry a little bit about Leicester, you know. I think, you know, that this happened to them last season and they kind of completely fell off, and they're almost going that way again, you know, to get beat that convincingly, because Newcastle absolutely run riot. I mean, they were all over them, and they played really well, Newcastle. Fair play to Steve Bruce, but they were terrible, Leicester. They were really bad, and, you know, they scored a couple of goals at the end, but it was like nothing, really. It meant nothing. They were completely outclassed. I just think they could... I genuinely think they could drop out of the top four. Well,
I tell you what, let's just quickly look at their running, because, as I said a second ago, Manchester United away, Chelsea away, Ali, and then Spurs at home. Yeah. While teams around them, you know, that is the concern, isn't it? They've gone from really learning from last season. I mean, I spoke to Brendan Rodgers after that game, actually, and obviously there's now more pressure on those final games, but could you see it happening, Ali?
Sadly, I can. And, you know, it would be... You know, we spoke about it last season, and I think they had 1 or 2 injuries towards the end of last season. But that game on Friday was key. I just felt it was unbelievably important. But you've got to get the balance, guys, because, you know, and it is our job clearly to discuss Leicester, will they make the top 4? But come on, what a result for Newcastle. We've sat here for the majority of the season. Stevie Bruce has been under all sorts of pressure, fans wanting him out, you know, change at the club. You know, Newcastle fans have had a torrid time. You're potentially selling the club. They've been filled up with hope. They've not, you know, they've not been happy with the management. They've not been happy with the style. But come on, what a turnaround recently in Newcastle as well. It's been fantastic, and we've said it for a long time, Jamie Woodsy. If they can get... And it's such an obvious thing to say, but if they can get their better forward players on the pitch, we always believed that they would do okay and get out of trouble. I said to you, Jamie, and for weeks, I felt St Maximin and Wilson were just vital.
Yeah,
vital,
massive.
And they've done it, and they've got themselves out of trouble, which is brilliant. Leicester, I mean, you look at the fixtures they've got. The only thing they've got in their favour is they're playing a Manchester United team that have got about, whatever it is, 4 games in 9 days or 10 days, ridiculous. Yeah. And they're playing a Spurs side that they look as though the confidence has gone out their side. Because Liverpool, as I say, they haven't been brilliant, but they're winning games now where they were maybe dropping points, you know, comfortable 2-0 at the weekend, really. And they've got Manchester United. That's one of Leicester's biggest things, that Liverpool have got Manchester United, and it's not a gimme at all. But can they drop out the top 3 or top 4? Sadly, I think they can, would you? Yeah.
I mean, this weekend as well, FA Cup final, Leicester against Chelsea. You can listen to that one. It's live on talkSPORT, 5:15 kick-off, that one. How would Leicester fans feel, do you think, if they won the FA Cup but dropped out the top 4?
Oh, Jamie, all the best.
That's a great question.
Who gave you that?
Yeah, that's Liberty. Yeah, she definitely didn't think of that herself.
That just comes out of my brain.
I think I would say
bittersweet.
Yeah, I think they'd be disappointed because they've been really consistent this season in the top 4, but winning a trophy, I think, especially the FA Cup, is, you know, if they win the FA Cup, then yeah, I think that the fans would be happy with that.
Do you think they can, Ali?
Well, of course they can. One-off game against, the only thing you'd say, it's against the informed team in the country, who look as though, you know, they're just marching on relentless in every competition. So I think I'm safe to say they'll start second favourites. But when you've got guys in your team like Vardy and Iheanacho, Maddison, you can always win a game of football. But having said that, it's going to take extremely good performance to beat this Chelsea side at this moment in time.
Going back to the league, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer obviously needing to rotate his team because they've got 3 games in 5 days or something like that.
Yeah.
So this Manchester United side that they have to play tomorrow could look completely different to the Villa side that we saw yesterday, which I imagine Liverpool fans will be livid about as they chase top 4.
Wow, yeah, but you have to. It comes to the end of the season, you get injuries, you have to rotate the squad. It's difficult, like teams. You can see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's raging about the fixtures and the games that he's got to play. It's ridiculous. It's actually impossible. You can't play them amount of games in them amount of days. And I'm always one for saying, "Oh, just get on with it." The Premier League, and you've got all the facilities, but. It actually gets to a point where, come on, you're putting them fixtures together and asking teams to play that many games in, sort of 8 days or 10 days, whatever it is ridiculous.